Hey guys, this is Garrett Sherling with NextLevelLathModel.com. Tonight I'm in the shop checking a couple of springs that I plan on running next week, and I thought I might make a quick video for you guys just showing you what the process is like. So right here, what I have is a 275-pound spring, and I have that spring mounted up on a hydraulic dummy shock. So this is a 0-0 valve. There's no resistance, compression, or rebound, and it's a hydraulic shock, so there's no gas pressure. So when we get a load rating from this AccuForce spring smasher, we're just getting the spring. There's no input from the shock whatsoever. And tonight we're going to be looking at two different things. We're going to be looking at the rate, and we're going to be looking to see if the rate stays the same throughout the entire load range. So this is a 275 spring, and we're gonna put about 30 pounds of load on it and then compress it an inch, and that load should be 275. We're going to zero the AccuForce, compress it a second inch, should be 275, and on into the third and fourth inch. But no spring is perfect. Sometimes springs are progressive, so we might load it up 30 or 40 pounds and then compress it an inch, and that inch be 275. The next inch may be 285, and then 300 and 310. So that's not a good or a bad thing. It's just important to know if we stick this spring on the car and it's really fast, we need to know whether it's a linear or a progressive spring. And every spring is different. You can take any brand. You can take the same two springs from straight out of the box from any brand, and it's important to check because they might be different. We're also going to be looking at the load split, or what I call the load split. So one of the good things about using a coilover tester like this one is we're able to measure the load as it's compressed and as it's decompressed. And if the load number is much lower during decompression, that takes a lot of traction away. So it's very important to know if your spring has a high load split. So let's get to it. Okay, so now we're ready to test the spring, and right here on the AccuForce spring smasher, you have your center-to-center measurement, which is not going to be important for this test, and you have your total load number right here. And then below this, you have your travel split, and you have your load split, and we're going to be using this a lot here in this test. So let's go ahead and run this spring up till it's got about 30 pounds of force on it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to zero the travel out and zero the load out, and we're going to run the spring up an inch and see what the actual rate is. Now this is supposed to be a 275-pound spring. Okay, so now here we've got our inch of travel, and you can see we're at 280. Now that's a very close reading, and this is a good spring. So we're going to write down 280, and then we're going to reset, and then see what our second inch of travel looks like. Second inch of travel, and right here we've seen 8 pounds of progression from the first inch of travel, which is not a lot. Okay, so we're going to reset, go ahead and look at our third inch of travel. Whoop. All right, so right here I've overshot the travel number, and when you do that, and you have to back up and do it again, it's important to not just to go back down to your target number, you need to go past it a good ways. So we're going to go down at least a tenth and a half. So we're now at our 3rd inch of travel, and we're still at about 289. So not much progression from the 2nd to the 3rd inch. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our 4th inch. All right, so 4th inch, dead at 289 again. Not bad at all. And so that's as far as we need to go with this spring. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at the load split. You know, we talked about the load split being high. That could take away a lot of traction in the car. So we don't want a lot of load split in our springs. Anything I would say out of the teens is going to be enough split where you don't want to run that spring anymore. So if it's 20, 22, 25 pounds, you're going to want to retire that spring and put another one on your car. So let's see what this Hypercoil looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and put about 30 pounds back on the spring. All right, 0, 0. And let's go ahead and run it up an inch. All right, so just like last time, 1st inch travel's dead at 280. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll zero. I'm going to keep this travel number the same, zero the load out, and we're going to run it up an inch and then back down an inch and see how big of a negative number we get, and that's going to give us our split. Back down to 1 inch. Okay, so right here you see we've got 15 pounds less load on the decompression stroke than we did on the compression stroke. Now this is about as high as I'm personally comfortable with. Like I said, this is a good spring, and I don't think 15 pounds of load split is going to scare me. But if this was 25 pounds, I would really start to look at replacing the spring and getting a new one on the car. All right, so that's how we check our springs over at nextlevellathe-model.com. I hope you'll head over to the site and check out all the helpful articles we have to help the weekend warriors of dirt late model racing. I also have a feature on the website right now. You can get my top 5 favorite adjustments, and I don't know how long I'm going to keep it up. But right now, if you go over to nextlevellathe-model.com, you can download my top 5 favorite adjustments that I make at the racetrack absolutely free. Thanks for watching.